So what you can see is the Preply website. Okay, if you want to access this, the link is down below in the description. Okay, you can access it now, or you can access it after the live stream, after you've watched this lesson. Okay, don't worry, I'm only going to take 2 minutes of your time talking about this. It's not going to be like, go join Preply, okay? But I have my pronunciation course here. So a lot of people have been asking for pronunciation lessons, like private pronunciation lessons, and then I tell them, oh, I'm sorry, I'm so busy, so I'm now working together with Preply to bring some private group, very, very small group pronunciation lessons. So if you're interested in that, then it could be something for you. So that's there. The link is in the description. Okay. And the way that it works, there are 6 students maximum in the lesson. What happened was I was told there were 6 places, and then it showed that the classes were fully booked. And then I received word that actually they were not fully booked. They had only booked 5 spaces, not 6. So when I said it was full, it actually had 5 students. It wasn't full. So there is 1 space, I think. There is 1 space left. There is 1 space left, okay? So it's there. And what's really nice is that it goes over 6 weeks. So we're going to start with the vowel sounds, then the consonant sounds, then we're going to move on to stress, intonation, then intonation in questions, and then we're going to move on to some connected speech. So a lot of stuff in just 6 weeks. The classes are 1 hour each, so it's just 1 hour each week, and you're going to get a ton of homework after your lessons. So you'll have plenty of time to practice. You'll have a whole week to practice before the next lesson. And that's that. And it starts on Monday. So yes, that's that. If you're interested in that, there's 1 space left. So if someone wants to go get that space, go get it now. I sound like a salesperson, but really, like, there is only 1 space. And just to mention very quickly, if you can't get onto this course, or maybe it's a bit out of your budget or something like that, because I don't create the price, Preply does, okay? I just create the content of the course and me. That's all I do. But there are other courses as well available. So if you just want to practice your speaking, there's a really cool speaking club here that's 21 per lesson. There's gossip in English, practice gossiping. This teacher here, Teddy and Melissa, they're fantastic. They have so many different courses. There's also Maysam. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced his name there. $9 per class, starting at that, to practice your conversation. So please don't get upset with me. Some people got upset and they said, oh, I can't get on your course. So don't worry, there are more lessons there, starting at just $5, like $5 for an hour lesson. You know, it's really freaking good. So go and take a look at that. The link is down in the description. I'm not going to take any more of your time talking about this. Please don't worry. I'm going to jump. I'm going to get rid of that. Gonna jump straight to the story. But any questions before we start? Is it like Cambly? So Cambly is different in the sense that you don't have to be a qualified teacher to work with Cambly, right? You can just be a random native. So a lot of people who I know have had lessons on Cambly, their teachers haven't known how to explain grammar, okay? That is no hate towards Cambly. It is literally just a platform to practice your conversation with a lot of the teachers on there. While on Preply, they are actually teachers. Like, they are teachers who go on the platform and they're just like me. They're like, hey, this is me. This is my profile. Book a lesson with me. And that's that, okay? And so yes, loads of different teachers for different languages as well. Yes, I'm listening to you. Don't worry. I want to improve my pronunciation. Fantastic! You're in the right place. Okay, so let's get started. So this story is called The Needle Tree, all right? It is a moral story. So when we talk about the word moral, we're talking about something that is it good or bad? Okay, something that is moral. Is it good or bad? Is it a good or bad thing to do? And of course, morals They change between people, different societies, different cultures, people of different backgrounds, and so on. People have different morals of things that they believe are right and wrong, okay? So the story is fairly short. It looks long because the text is big, right? So we're going to get started with analyzing. You should be able to see this. Okay, yes, you can. Fantastic. So let's start with the first part. We're going to analyze this as a whole. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I actually have 2 chats going. I have a chat on my phone, so if I'm looking down, you know why. And there's a chat over here. So if I'm looking over here, you know why. So starting with the first part, I'd like you to really, really pay attention. So if you're in the chat writing spam right now, please stop, right? Please listen. Please practice, repeat, listen, practice, repeat. Okay? That's the purpose of this lesson today. So we've got, sorry, it's really hot. I'm like sweating. Once upon a time. This links. Once upon a time. Once upon a time. And notice the intonation as well. Once upon a time. 2 brothers lived. 2 brothers lived at the edge of a forest. Notice that rhythm. 2 brothers lived at the edge of a forest. So you notice that my intonation is going up every time we're stressing one of the key words. So we've got 2 brothers lived at the edge of a forest. Lived at the edge. We're going to link this together with a ya. If you find the text too small to read, then I'm sorry. Please find a laptop or a bigger screen, a tablet or something. I cannot change it. Not now. And then we're going to link these together. At the edge of the forest. Edge of the forest. So notice that these all link together. I'm not saying lived at the edge of a forest. Yeah, okay? I'm linking them all together and I've got a nice rhythm. Lived at the edge of a forest. And we're linking connected speech. The edge of that yeah. The older brother. We're going to link this here. The older with that yeah sound again. Yeah as in yes, yellow, yesterday. Yeah? The older. The older brother was always, Lincoln, was always, not was always, was always mean to his younger brother. Now what we're going to do with his is we're going to cut this H here. So we're going to say to his, instead of to his younger brother, to his, okay? Why do we do this? Anyone know? It's because the word is unstressed. So with a lot of words that are unstressed, we can cut and change some letters. We can be a bit more flexible, okay? I'm speaking very, very generally there. But when we have words that are very, that are weak, okay? Like his. So in English, we have strong words and weak words, or words that have a strong and weak form, okay? His is one of them. His is the strong form. Is a weaker form, okay? It's something that we use in the sentence. Mean to whiz, I'm not saying the H, not to his, to his. Always mean to his brother. We're connecting this as well really nicely. Mean to. I'm not saying mean to. I'm not releasing. Mean to his younger brother. So those are just the first 2 sentences. Any questions so far? Sorry, my nose is really, really itching today. I'm not sure why. Let's see. Understand that linking is the key of speaking natural, don't you? I think it depends. I think it really, really does depend. Sometimes people kind of I don't know how to explain it, but they sometimes like overlink and overconnect. Like they're trying to connect everything, and it can sound a little bit forced sometimes. Yeah, fantastic, exactly. The older brother with that y sound. What's the rule for connected speech? If there's a rule, there is. Well done for asking. So I will talk about it very, very quickly. But what we've got here, maybe the older is a bit of an easier example, okay? So if you've got two vowels together, your first word ends in a vowel, your next word starts in another vowel. We can link these vowels together, okay? And there are three sounds that we can use to do that. There's ya, hope you can see that, yep, wa, and then ra. Okay, so when we're linking vowel sounds together, we use these three sounds a lot of the time, okay? So in this case, the older, I'm adding that y. We've got to whiz, because we're removing the H. When we remove the H, we're now left with this vowel sound here. So we're going to link it to whiz, and then we add the w. With the r, I'm pretty sure I have one linking with r somewhere, but if not, I'll just give an example now. Okay, let's go with these two. If it's too small, then I'm sorry, get a bigger screen. So you've got car alarm. So in most British accents, we don't pronounce this R, right? It just becomes car. I don't say car. That's very American sounding, right? There are some accents within the UK that do pronounce the R, but I'm talking about modern received pronunciation here, okay? So car alarm. We don't pronounce this R, and we also don't pronounce this R. Actually, it's the same sound. Yeah. Car alarm. However, together, because now we've got two vowel sounds together, R and with the schwa here, yeah? We're going to link them together with a r. So this R, when the word is alone, or if there's a consonant sound after this word, it's silent. But if the next word starts with another vowel sound, we add the r in and we pronounce it. Car alarm. Now, we call this the linking R, okay? Over here, we've got law and order. We're going to cut this D. We're going to connect this. In order. So notice I'm cutting that D. Like we did with his, we've got the weak form is. And we've got the weak form in. So we shorten it. We don't shorten it. We cut the D, sorry. And then we weaken the word to un. Then law ends in this or sound. And with certain sounds, I'm not going to go into detail here in this video because I have a full video explaining all about it on YouTube that you can go and take a look at. And also on the course, I'm going to be taking a look at it in more detail and practicing it with you to make sure you're doing it correctly as well. And that you're not just absorbing the rules, but that you can produce it as well. We actually had a r here. So we've got law and order. So we add a r in there to help us connect those two vowel sounds together. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, well, why are we adding sounds to connect these together? Well, it makes it easier to transition. Because if I say law and order, it's like law and order. It's hard to pronounce those two vowels together, especially for an English speaker, okay? It may be possible for you in your language, but for native English speakers, it's very difficult, okay? We can't do it. We need a sound in there to separate those vowels. So law and order. And this one, we call the intrusive R, okay? Because there's no R in the spelling. So we call it an intrusive R. Linking R is when you have a R, so you have an R in the spelling. Intrusive R, there's no R. And of course, these ones are also silent. Order. Law and order. Car alarm. You notice those? Exactly. Perfect. Like I saw a movie. Yeah, fantastic. So you got I saw a movie. I saw a movie. We connect it with that R. Any other questions about connected speech? Can you get a copy of the text? Maybe I can put it in the description. But otherwise, I mean, you've got the video of it here. This video will be available for replay, like as a replay. You can watch it as many times as you want. It's only the 3 letters y, w, and r. Yes. Yes, yes. So no more questions about that. Fantastic. Okay, if the audio is a little bit low, then turn up your volume, because it's on max volume for me. I can't put it up anymore, and I'm not shouting because it's a Saturday and I don't want to disturb my neighbours. Flora and fauna. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, flora and fauna. It's quite a mouthful. Flora. So that's that, okay? And then when it comes to, for example, here where we've got 2 consonants together, what we do is if they are pronounced in the same part of the mouth, we can hold it and then release it for the next consonant sound. So for example, n and t, probably got mouth noises then, sorry. N and t, they're both pronounced with the alveolar ridge at the front here. N, t, okay? So what I can do is hold that n and release it as a t. Mean to. Mean to. Instead of saying mean to. I'm releasing it twice. What happens here when you have consonant vowel? So if this is consonant consonant, these ones are, for example, vowel vowel. When you have consonant vowel, super easy peasy. You take that final consonant sound and you move it over to the beginning of the next word. So for example, you've got ut. So we're not going to say at because it's not the strong form. Ut, okay? Ut. Then we've got lived. We're going to take that duh. We're going to move it over and we're going to say lived it. Lived it. So that duh moves over. And that's what happens when you have a consonant and a vowel together. Easy peasy, right? Yeah. Sometimes you say look at and don't use connected speech, right? I mean, I use connected speech. Native English speakers use connected speech naturally. If they don't use connected speech, then they will sound quite robotic, okay? We use it naturally, and a lot of the time we don't know that we're using it, right? It's just something that natives learn, but we don't learn it in school, okay? We just learn it just from acquiring the language as children. So, moving on to the next paragraph. God, my nose is really itchy today. I don't know why. I must have like some kind of allergy to a plant or something in here. So I've got loads of plants behind me. Never mind. So, second paragraph. Every day, the older brother, so you know what's going to happen here. The older brother would go. Look what I'm doing. I'm not saying would go. I'm saying would go. Notice what I'm doing? Would go. That duh changes to a ga. Would go. We hold it. So we're not saying would go. Would go. Okay? This is something that we do to certain letters at the end of words. Okay? Ta. I'll write them here. Ta. Oh, that's just on the edge there. Let's move it a bit closer. There we go. Ta, da, and na are the biggest ones. Sorry, if I keep looking over here, my neighbors are having like a barbecue or something and it keeps distracting me. I should close my curtains. Ta, da, and na, if they appear at the end of a word, quite commonly, they will change so that they are similar to the next sound, okay? To the next consonant sound. This also happens with other sounds, like occasionally it can happen with ka, for example, okay? But ta, da, and na, it happens to these three quite a lot. So if you ever hear certain words that ending ta, da, na changing, perhaps it sounds like that final sound has disappeared or it is changing, that's because it is. You're not crazy. okay? We call this assimilation. I was going to say elision. It's not elision. We call this assimilation, if you want the technical term, okay? That basically means that we're taking a sound and we're changing it so it's easier to pronounce the next sound, or it's easier to pronounce the sounds around it, okay? This happens a lot in English, and it happens in some other languages as well, okay? So, older brother would go into. So we've got vowel, vowel again, together. Go into. What I'll do later is I will find the link for my video on connected speech. I have a full playlist about connected speech, and I talk about the rules for these in way more detail, okay? So you'll know how to do it in more detail, like when is it ya, wa, and ra, all right? Because I don't want to go into it here. I could easily spend an extra 10 minutes on that, and I don't want to do that. Because this stream was only supposed to be half an hour, but is looking more like 45 minutes. So, go winter. We're going to add that wa. Go into the forest. Mind this TH as well in the. Make sure you're not saying de or d, okay? The forest. Go into the forest to collect some. Now here what we're doing is we're cutting this T. Super simple, easy peasy rule. If you have ta or da at the end of a word and you have consonant, T or D, plus the next word starts with another consonant, cut that t or da, right? You can pronounce it. You can say to collect some wood. But it's quite hard, right? So what many natives will do is they will cut it, right? This is your speak like a native hack, right? That everyone is always talking about, like marketing. If you want to speak like a native, then cut some sounds. We're quite lazy as native speakers. So to collect some, so I'm cutting that T, right? Collect some wood. To collect some wood to sell at the local market. So you might be wondering, Emma, why are you putting these lines here? What are these? Well, these are just to mark little pauses, okay? These are called speech units. So when we have these little kind of sections here, for example, like this is a speech unit, it's like little parts of a phrase or sentence or whatever, where we have breaks around them just to breathe, just to pause. And there are no set rules for when we put these breaks. But of course, if you put them in completely random places, it can sound a bit weird, okay? So for example, every day, the older brother would go into the forest. Oh, that sounds strange, right? So we're not going to do that. Every day, the older brother would go into the forest to collect some wood to sell at the local market. So notice I'm putting in these little breaks, and it helps kind of make the text a bit more digestible and also gives you a bit of a break. You can change where you put the pauses to add emphasis. So for example, to make it sound super dramatic, the older brother would go into the forest to collect some wood to sell at the local market. So you see how it changes the meaning once you start adding these pauses. So English is quite flexible in that way. And as I said, there's no set rule. Any questions about that so far? Do you have a complete pronunciation course? Yes, I do. I have my own pronunciation course, and it's been updated every single month, every month. But there's also the group classes as well, which you can join on the Preply page. The link is in the description. Any other questions? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'm glad to hear. Yep, perfect, exactly. Yeah, you've got the rule, exactly. Consonant, TD, consonant, you can cut the T and D. You don't have to, but you can. You can cut it, all right? So let's press on. Let's continue. One day. Remember, we're not going to say one day. We're going to say one day. One day. Connect it together. As cut the H. As he was about to As he was about to lower his axe. Cut this. This lower would normally be a schwa, but because we're removing the H, we've got a vowel. We've got vowel, right? What we're going to do, we're going to add that R back in here. As he was about to lower his axe. As he was about to lower his axe. As he was about to lower his axe to chop down one specific tree. To chop down one specific tree. Notice I'm putting a bit more emphasis on that one specific tree. Okay? It's not just chop down one specific tree. No. To chop down one specific tree. I'm adding more emphasis because it makes it a bit more dramatic. Yeah? It's one specific tree. Be dreaming of that phrase tonight. One specific tree. He heard it speak. He heard it speak. So, it speak. I'm pronouncing them together. It speak. It speak. He heard it speak. He heard it speak. It said. It said. Not it said. It said. Please, spare me my branches. Or if you're from the south, branches. Okay, they say branches in the south. Branches. Or if you're from the north, like I am, branches. You choose whichever one you want. Okay. I'm going to say branches because I'm from the north. Branches. If you spare my branches. If you spare. So notice this R, silent. Spare. Spare me my branches. If you spare my branches, I will give you some golden apples. Some golden apples. I will give you some golden apples. The boy agreed. The boy agreed. Vowel, vowel. So even though we have this Y here, remember, it's a vowel sound. Oi. The boy agreed. Again, minor TH here, not de boy. The boy. The. The boy agreed. So the tree. So the tree. The tree. So the tree gave him 2 golden apples. Golden apples. Golden apples. The boy agreed. So the tree gave him 2 golden apples. Need some water. How are we doing so far? Which British dialect do you use when teaching? Dialect? Dialect and accent are 2 different things. Okay? In terms of dialect, I tend to use a more standard dialect. I'm not going to use Yorkshire dialect. Dialect refers to the words. Accent refers to how you say something, depending on where you're from, or your background, your education, and so many different things, okay? In terms of my accent, I focus on teaching modern RP, but I do incorporate elements of my own accent, because that's part of my identity, it's where I'm from, okay? And I also compare the 2. So if there's ever something that is not RP, like for example with branches, okay, I'm gonna say in the south, RP, they say branches, but do be aware that in the north, half the country, 50% of the country say branches, right? Perfect. Golden apples. Remember what we do? We take that final consonant sound, we move it over. Golden apples. Golden apples. Should we move about to 2? About to. So we're not going to move it, but we're going to hold it. It's a good question. Where was that? About to. Was that there? Or was that just a random question? I have a feeling it was in here, but maybe not. Yeah, about to. We hold it. Yes, I'm going to save this as a replay. Please do not worry. Loads of linking sounds. Yes, we have a lot. We have a lot in English. A lot. We link all the freaking time. All the time. We link all the time in English. So that's the first part. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit more. Ideally, I would like to finish this stream soon. I'd like to finish it at 1:45. So let's see how we get on. Okay. The boy felt disappointed. Now here, remember I told you, if you have consonant T, D, or consonant, we can remove the T, right? I'm going to show you something. What am I doing here? The boy felt disappointed. The boy felt disappointed. The boy felt disappointed. I'm not removing it. I'm changing it to a glottal stop. Right? Felt disappointed. If I removed it, it would sound like fell. Like the past of fall. Yeah? The boy felt disappointed. The boy felt disappointed. The boy felt disappointed. The boy felt disappointed. You notice that there's a bit of a pause there because I need the time for my glottis, the technical term. I need the time to close here, okay? So here what you have is 2 vocal cords vibrating away, all right? Your vocal folds, vocal cords, whatever you want to call them, they're vibrating away. And when you do a glottal stop, you stop them, right? They stop moving. And you get them in words or phrases, for example, like, uh-oh, uh-oh. And then you get that, uh-oh, and there's a closure. And that closure, uh-oh, that's the glottal stop. And we put that in words and at the end of words, like here. The boy felt disappointed. The boy felt disappointed. And you'll notice this in words, for example, like better, better, city, city, water, water, right? So it can happen in words, but quite commonly it happens at the end of words as well. And this is a case of that happening. I have a full video all about the glottal stop if you want to practice that. So the glottal stop tends to happen when we have, see if I remember, l, m, n, or a vowel. That's the one. Trying to remember these off the top of my head. My goodness. So if you have and then a T, okay? So if your word ends in l, m, or n, and then a vowel, or a vowel, okay? L, m, n, or a vowel, and then you have a T at the end, it doesn't matter what comes after, okay? Doesn't matter what comes after, we can glottalize the T, right? If it's at the end of a word. L, m, n, or a vowel. I should put that as like or, not and. It should be l, m, n, like this, like l, m, n, vowel, and then a T. So felt, if it's a vowel, for example, cat becomes cat. A n, for example, can't becomes can't. I can't go. I can't go. Yeah, you notice how I glottalize it then. And then, yeah, with me, I can't think of one right now, but it's not important. See, it's not important. It's not important. Notice I use the glottal stop then. It's not important. Oh, it's a fly. So, the boy felt disappointed. The boy felt disappointed that he had only received 2 apples. Received 2 apples. I can cut that again. Received 2 apples. So remember, consonant, D, consonant, cut the D. Received 2 apples. Makes it so much easier to say once you start cutting sounds. It's strange at first, but you will grow to love it. Trust me. You'll be like, oh, why wasn't I cutting sounds before? Makes it so much easier. Yeah? So the T, had only. That he had only received 2 apples. And we connect with that word. 2 wapples. 2 apples. The boy felt disappointed. That he had only... So I could put a break here. The boy felt disappointed that he had only received 2 apples. So we threatened. Remove that H. Add a W. So we threatened. Remove this. Threaten the tree. I would probably add a pause there. He threatened the tree and asked for more. So with this asked, notice I'm not saying the ka. Life hack, okay? Instead of asked and asked for more. If you're from the south of England, then you would say asked, okay? Again, another difference. 50% of the country say asked, the others say asked, right? I say asked. So, and asked for more. I cut the ka, right? So when we get certain consonant clusters, s, k, t, we can cut the middle one, right? We can cut the middle one. In this case, we cut the ka. Now, what happens? Well, we also have consonant, T, consonant. What else can happen, Emma? Oh my goodness, Emma, you're not going to tell me that we've got this consonant T consonant. We're going to cut the T as well. Yeah, we are. We're going to cut that T. We're just going to cut these. And we're going to say, an ass for more. So yes, it sounds like the word ass, right? An ass for more. Or if you're from the south, an arse for more. An arse for more. So we threaten the tree and ask for more. So we threaten the tree and ask for more. Yeah, we cut it. It makes it so much easier. So much easier. Then we don't have like 4 consonants all together. S, k, t, f. 4 consonants together is hard, even for a native speaker. So, let's cut some. Okay? The tree became mangry. The tree became mangry. Pause. And showered him with hundreds of tiny pine needles. Pine needles. And asked for more. The tree became angry and showered him with hundreds of tiny pine needles. Right? The boy cried out in pain. In pain. In pain. Remember what happened with wood? What was it? Would go. Yeah? Remember what happened with that? When we had would go and I said would go. Same thing happens here. In pain. In pain. It's one of those 3 that changes. Remember? Ta, da, na. They change. Okay? In pain. The boy cried out in pain. The boy cried out in pain. Whilst crying, consonant T, consonant, cut that T. Whilst crying, if you're not sure what whilst is, it means while, okay, it's just more British. Whilst crying, his younger brother rushed to help him. Rushed, cut that sh, t, t, yeah? Consonant T, consonant, rushed to help him. Help him. Carefully, we're going to change this to this carefully, and then link it together. Carefully started to pull out each of the tiny pine needles. So we didn't hurt his brother more. Here, the same what I mentioned with felt, I can also say didn't hurt his brother. I could use the glottal stop as well. It's optional, doesn't matter, okay, whether you use it or not. Did I miss anything else? His younger brother rushed to help him and carefully started to pull out each of the tiny pine needles so he didn't hurt his brother more. When all the needles had been removed, so had been removed, strong form, had been removed, weak form, use the weak. When all the tiny, the tiny needles? No. When all the needles had been removed, the boy hugged his brother, younger brother. The boy hugged his younger brother and apologized to him. Apologize, consonant T, consonant D, sorry. Consonant, apologize to him, or apologize to him. If we remove the H, yeah, it's optional. And apologize to him for always being so mean. Here, we're going to add that R, for always being so mean. And apologize to him for always being so mean. Yeah. The magical tree saw the change in the older brother's behavior. Long part there. The magical tree saw the change in the older brother's behavior and decided to give both of the boys more golden apples. The magical tree saw the change in the older brother's behavior and decided to give both of the boys more golden apples. So every time I'm clicking, I'm stressing the word, right? The moral of the story here is, pause, to always be kind. The moral of the story here is, the moral of the story here is to always be kind, because kindness does, we're going to really stress that does, because kindness does pay off in the end. We're really putting the stress here because we really want to emphasize that it does pay off, okay? Because kindness, same here, consonant D, consonant, even though it's within a word, cut it, kindness, instead of kindness, kindness. Because kindness does pay off. We got that yeah, pay off in the end. Again there, pay off in the end. Because kindness does pay off in the end. And that's that. If I missed any, then I do apologize. I think I've covered a lot though so far. But any questions? Any questions about this, about the text or anything? An amazing class. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If I don't pronounce the D, how do people know we're talking in the past? Context. Really, really good question. Really good. By context. Completely by context. So if you have a word, for example, like lived, I lived there, for example, I lived there 2 years ago, for example, right? I'm just inventing a sentence here. Let me make it a bit bigger. I lived there 2 years ago. Now, you know, by context, I'm talking about the past because I've got the 2 years ago, right? That ago, it can only talk about the past. It can't talk about the present or the future, okay? I lived there. Consonant, v, d, v. Consonant, d, consonant. I can cut it. I lived there. I lived there 2 years ago. Now, if you say it slowly, and you say, I lived there 2 years ago, then it doesn't sound right, okay? You've got to say it at a more natural speed. You can't say it slowly. This is 100% a feature of rapid speech. You've got to say it quickly. Not at the speed of light. Please don't try and speak super fast, okay? Like, I lived there 2 years ago. But, you know, try and speak at a more natural rhythm if you can. It's a little hard for non-native speakers. It is, and that's why you practice. That's why you practice. Do you devoice the S in apples? No, it's just a Z. Apples, apples. Why there is intrusion with what? So he. So if you've got, for example, so he. Oops, so her. So he. What we can do, because he has a strong form and a weak form, what you can do is remove this H to make it the weak form. E. So he would be the strong form. So he went. But we're not using the strong form in a normal sentence, right? We're going to say so e. So e. So we've got vowel, vowel together. When we've got two vowels together, we can link them together. So in this case, we link them with a w. I have a full video talking about the rules for this, so please don't worry. I do talk about this in more detail in another video. I just don't want to talk about it today. We pronounce everything in the strong form, and that's because you're not taught about strong and weak forms. A lot of the time people brush over, and by people I mean teachers, you know, they sometimes brush over the topic of strong and weak forms. And then it causes you to have problems with understanding. It said, why do you drop the T? I don't drop the T, I glottalize it. Remember what happens when we have, let me clear this, when you have a vowel or a L, a M, or a N, plus a T at the end of your word, you can glottalize this. Notice I'm saying you can glottalize this. It's optional, right? So in the sentence, what was it? It said. It said. Yeah? We've got a vowel. It. And then the T. It said. Then I can glottalize it. So it's not removed, it's glottalized. Need to keep listening to people reading things. Yep. British pronunciation's so hard. So is American. Trust me. They have their own set of weird rules, just like British English. Anything else? Can you make a video about the weak forms? I already have. I do have a video about the weak forms. Is the glottal stop really necessary? Necessary? No. That's my simple answer. Is it necessary for you to be able to produce it and use it? No. Is it important, in my opinion, for you to understand of its existence? Yes. So you don't have to use it personally, like you don't have to use it, but knowing it exists and knowing when it's used is going to help you with your listening skills, especially if you're in touch with native British English speakers, like speakers from the UK. It will help a lot. What's the difference between a strong and a weak form? So you've got two types of words, okay? You've got your content words, which are the words that have all the meaning, okay? They're your nouns, your verb, your adjectives, your adverbs, your negative, modal, and auxiliary verbs, okay? These are stressed. Then you have what are called function words or grammar words or something like that, some people call them. I tend to call them content words and function words or structure words, okay? These are your little words, little grammatical words, prepositions, pronouns, what else? Prepositions, pronouns, articles, auxiliary verbs, modal verbs, but in the affirmative, not the negative. The verb to be, whether it's a modal verb or not, okay? A modal verb, an auxiliary verb or not, can also be weak. So if you look in the dictionary at these words, you will see that there are two forms. So let's take, for example, the word can. If I look in the dictionary, it will have two forms. It will have the strong form can, and then it will have the weak form can, right? So can is the strong, can you help me, will be the weak form. Can you help me, strong form. Right? We use the weak form typically in sentences. We use this in sentences as well, but for different reasons. Usually either for emphasis, or if it's for contrast, or if it's alone, if it's at the end of a word. Yeah, if I say, for example, maybe you say to me, Emma, can you help me? And I say, yes, I can. Then I use can. Then I use the strong form. Right? Yes. I practiced for a long time. Takes a long time. Don't forget to hit the like, yeah. I'm going to have to finish soon, guys, so I'll take one or two more questions. What's a modal verb? Oof, I think that's a different lesson. That's getting into grammar territory. Take that question and just pop it into Google and then you'll be able to understand, because it's more of a grammatical question and I only have a few minutes. Now it's clear why it's easy to understand English teachers, but then listen to native speakers who feel frustrated. Yeah. But even your teachers will use connected speech. We use connected speech naturally to native speakers. No, don't worry about asking grammar questions. It's just that I don't have a lot of time and I could very easily go on tangents and I don't want to do that. Absolutely, glottal T, you can. You can say absolutely or absolutely. I would say the majority of people say absolutely, to be honest with you, absolutely, because it's just easier to say. Why would go and not went? That's a grammatical thing. Not going to talk about that. Just pronunciation today. Keep it simple. I don't want anyone's minds to explode. I like to listen when you read. Oh, that's nice. Final questions? Regressive assimilation, progressive assimilation. Oh my God, I don't think I've got time for that. I've only got like a minute left and I've got to finish the stream. I'm going to say the same to you what I said to the other person. Take that question, pop it into Google. Or I'll leave it for another video. It's a pleasure listening to you. Oh, thank you so much. Amazing lesson. I'm glad. Thank you so much. You've learned a lot, especially intrusive R. I'm glad. How to read in pain. So remember, you can change that n to more of like a m sound, like a p. In pain. In pain. That's how we can say it. Is slang still English? Of course. In every language you have slang. You have colloquial language in every language. How can I connect back again? Back again. Back again. We take that consonant, we move it over to the beginning of the next word. Back again. Back again. I'll be back again next week. Don't forget to hit the like. Exactly. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. You're a great phonetics and phonology professor. Thank you very much. Thank you. When I was studying English in Liverpool, Liverpool, they have a very, very specific accent there. Very, very unique. I struggled to understand my teacher during the first 2 months of my experience because he would use connected speech all the time. Welcome to Native Speakers, everyone. That's what we do. Thank you very much. I've never been so interested, and it's easy to understand lessons about pronunciation. Fantastic. I'm glad to hear. Could you please advise an app for British pronunciation? Well, I've got the pronunciation course that's going. I've also got my own course. So there's the group lessons on Preply. Let me talk about them super, super quick. You know what I'm like. I'm not the kind of person that really likes, plugging stuff all the time. But here they are. So here, for example, you've got different speaking classes. Let me just refresh this because my course might be sold out if one of you has already bought it. No, it's still there. It's still there. Oh, the suspense. There's just one space left and no one's taking that one space. So yeah, this is my course on Preply. Okay, the British English pronunciation course. We talk about modern received pronunciation, but of course, like I did in today's lesson, I'll be talking about parts of Northern English as well, parts of my own accent, just showing the difference, like with branches and branches, that sort of thing, class and class, that sort of thing. But everything else doesn't really change that much. So yes, there are 6 weeks and 6 different lessons, and you will get homework. I've planned homework. Is it the end for today? Yes, we are approaching the end. We are approaching the end of the stream. You're the best. Oh, thank you so much. So yes, that's there. If you want to join that, it starts on Monday. Okay, the link is down in the description. Go and book your place because there's only one left. There's only one space left. So that's that. But if you're also interested in taking lessons in general, there are some fantastic conversation lessons here. I'll just quickly go through them. So, do you love to travel? Let's chat. Victor? I thought his name was Victor, but no, Victor. So Victor here is, or it could be Vita. I'm not sure how his name is pronounced. I'm so sorry, Vita C or Vita C. I'm so sorry. But if you're interested in travel, talk about that. $9, $8 a lesson. You're also talking about speaking effectively at work. There's also one for a job interview. So if you guys have got a job interview coming up, this guy, Vitter again, he can help you out with that. Idioms about weather, just $5. Learn about some idioms. Practice your conversation. Practice using those idioms. Fantastic opportunity there. So yes, that's that. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining today's live stream. Let me just jump to the big screen, then I can say goodbye with full face mode on. And I can relax a little bit. We did lots of learning today, guys. Lots of teaching, lots of learning. So I'm going to go have a break, probably a cup of coffee now. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Have a fantastic week. As mentioned, there's only one space left on my pronunciation course. It starts on Monday morning UK time, Spanish time, European time, okay? The link is in the description to go book that place if you want to be that lucky person to go get it. But if not, then I will see you in the next lesson and the next video. I've really enjoyed doing this live stream and you've all been absolutely amazing. So thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day and keep practicing and keep positive as well, because a lot of you are saying that pronunciation is hard. And I know it's hard, but keep practicing. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Bye-bye.